Long ago, in a quiet village, a man lived with his two daughters. The elder daughter was Mira, and the younger one was Radha. Both were known for their beauty and gentle nature. When Mira came of age, her father began searching for a suitable groom. He looked throughout the village, but couldn't find anyone he thought was right for her. So he decided to search in distant villages. But Mira's mother strongly opposed the idea. Why send our daughter so far away? She insisted, if she marries nearby, we can see her often. If she goes far away, how will a mother live without seeing her child? Her father tried to explain that a good groom was hard to find nearby, but the mother refused to change her mind. In the end, because of her stubbornness, they married Mira to a young man from a nearby village. However, the young man had a secret. He suffered from night blindness. When darkness fell, he could barely see anything. Out of embarrassment, he hid this weakness from everyone. One day after the marriage, he borrowed an ox from his father-in-law to help with some work in his field. Days later, the father-in-law sent word that he needed the ox back, so the young man decided to return it that same day. But the work in the field took longer than expected, and by the time he finished, evening had already fallen. Darkness slowly covered the road. For most people, it was just another evening. But for him, it meant almost complete blindness. He stood there holding the ox, worried. How will I reach my father-in-law's house? In this darkness, he thought. But I must return the ox today. After thinking for a moment, he came up with an idea. He held the tail of the ox and let the animal lead the way. Since the ox knew the path to the cowshed, it walked straight there, and the man followed behind, holding its tail. Finally, he reached the cowshed of his in-law's house. Just then his father-in-law noticed him and said, "Why are you standing there? Come inside." The young man hesitated, afraid that someone might discover his condition. So he pretended to feel tired and called his sister-in-law, Radha, and said, "If you care for me, come and hold my hand and take me inside." Radha was simple and kind-hearted. Without suspecting anything, she held his hand and led him inside. Soon it was time for dinner. A plate of rice was placed in front of him, but in the dim light, he could hardly see the food. So he made another excuse and said, "Place my hand on the rice, then I'll start eating." Trusting him completely, Radha gently placed his hand on the plate, and he began eating. While he was eating, a cat quietly came and began eating from the same plate. After a while, his mother-in-law came outside and noticed it. "Oh no, why didn't you drive the cat away?" she asked. "Don't you feel it's unhygienic?" Trying to hide his weakness, the young man quickly replied, "Let it eat. Why should only humans eat? Animals need food too." The mother-in-law shook her head and said, No, chase it away." She handed him a small stick and added, "If the cat comes again, use this and drive it away." A little later, she returned with some fried fish and vegetables to serve him. But because of the darkness, the young man couldn't see clearly. He thought the cat had returned again to steal the food. Without realizing who it was, he swung the stick to chase the cat. But instead of hitting the cat, he struck his mother-in-law's hand. The moment he realized what had happened, his heart sank. He immediately fell at her feet and begged, "Mother, please forgive me. I thought it was the cat. I didn't know it was you. Please don't tell anyone about this." The mother-in-law, surprised but kind-hearted, forgave him. Still, the young man felt deeply ashamed. He quietly left the house without telling anyone and wandered outside in the dark. Unable to see the path, he accidentally walked into a banana grove. Near the courtyard, embarrassed and confused, he decided to hide there until morning. Later that night, the mother-in-law came outside to throw away some used water. The water splashed onto the banana leaves and trickled down onto the man, hiding beneath them. Feeling the drops on his body, he thought it had started raining. Sighing heavily, he looked up and said, "Dear God, please don't send more trouble tonight. I have already suffered enough today." Hearing a voice from the banana grove, the mother-in-law brought a lamp and walked closer. To her surprise, she saw her son-in-law crouching there in the dark. At that moment, she finally understood the truth. Her son-in-law was night blind. She called her husband and daughter, explained everything, and together they brought him inside. They washed his hands and feet, gave him dry clothes, and comforted him. From that day on, the family understood his weakness and treated him with kindness instead of judgment. Pride and secrecy often lead to greater embarrassment than the truth itself. When we hide our weaknesses out of fear or ego, we create more trouble for ourselves. But honesty brings understanding, and understanding brings compassion. Thank you for watching. If this story made you reflect on the value of honesty, kindness, and understanding, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, take care. And remember, it's okay to have weaknesses, but it's wiser not to hide them.